All right. Today, my friends, we're gonna talk about the Nioh demo. And I know what's on your mind. You don't need to say it. And you know what? We're not gonna say the soul's words at all during this video, except for that one time. That's right, I'm gonna describe to you my experience with Nioh without ever mentioning the game that everyone's most certainly got on the tips of their tongues. Okay, so can you guys handle that? Are we on the same page here? Okay, good. So, Nioh is a third-person action RPG by Team Ninja of Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive fame. I know, right? They're making this. It's crazy. The game's setting is that of 1600s feudal Japan a la mysticism and magics. That is to say, there's demons and shit everywhere, spirits, you name it, game's got it. You take on the role of William, a foreigner who may not be good at speaking the local language, but sure is good at kicking a whole lot of ass. Nioh has a strong focus on intense strategic combat, where every hit matters and every dodge needs to be timed exactly right. There's a key bar that acts as stamina, and swings take up key depending on the weight of the weapon, the stance you're in, and whether it was a normal or a strong attack. If you press R1 at just the right time after you attack, you can quickly regain ki, which is important in pretty much every fight. No ki means no attacking or dodging, and some enemies can deal critical hits when you're in this state, dealing a metric ton of damage. The stance system is a lot of fun to mess around with. There were 5 different kinds of melee weapons present in the demo, and given the UI, that's really all I expect there to be, each with their own movesets, specials, and combos. When you change your stance, the weapon that you're wielding gets different attacks. High stance is strong, slow attacks. Mid stance is your normal attacks, but you also get a slight bonus to blocking. Low stance attacks are quick and easy to dodge after, making you more mobile, but they deal significantly less damage. There are also spirit guardians that you have alongside you throughout each level. You have one equipped at a time, and you can switch them out at shrines, which are also places where you can level up, get rid of items for experience, or summon other players for co-op, as well as give yourself minor buffs. These spirit guardians give you some passive bonuses, but the really cool thing about them is that when their meter is full from getting experience or dealing and taking damage, then you can activate your living weapon, which basically imbues your equipped melee weapon with your guardian, giving you a hell of a damage bonus, some different moves, and some extra elemental damage of your guardian's type. It's fun stuff, and I mean, just look at this. It's kick-ass, right? It's awesome. As you play and level up, you'll unlock different moves to use in combat. There are some moves you get for your melee weapons that change up your combos, like a grapple when enemies have no ki lift, or this crazy high stance move with heavy weapons. There are also 2 different kinds of magic based around ninja moves and talisman magics. It's really cool to build your character out like this, and I'm able to forgive the fact that there are only 5 different kinds of melee weapon movesets because of how customizable each weapon really is. Last little bit about combat details. There's this variety of enemy called yokai. These are demons and spirits that bleed into the world somehow. It doesn't really matter how. The point is, they have the ability to create little patches on the ground that cause your stamina to regenerate at a much slower rate when you're standing in them. To get rid of these areas, you need to hit R1 to regain the maximum amount of ki possible after a chain of attacks. This is called purification, and it's a great way to mix up combat. I love how you need to split your focus between fighting the beast in front of you and actively managing your stamina, not just passively. They added an active reload system to stamina, and it's really cool. It works really well. Combat is all about switching up your attacks and your stances depending on the enemy that you're fighting and how they're behaving. If there's ever PvP added, which dear God, please yes, I feel like this combat system is gonna be one hell of a good time. And on that note, there is kind of a PvP system. You can fight the revenants or dead bodies of players that have died, which is really cool, but it's not PvP. Come on, give me some PvP. Come on, give it here. I can handle it. Now, as I mentioned, there are only a handful of different weapon types. Nioh seems to be going the loot game route, with different rarities, special effects, and damage values dropping for each of the 5 types of weapons. You can upgrade, dismantle, or sell weapons that you find in order to have that one weapon that you love be good enough to carry you for a while, but it does seem that eventually you're gonna need to grind up to get better gear. I found myself stuck at the second boss in the demo for a while. Yeah, okay, I died a lot. I'm not afraid to admit it. Then I went and I did some grinding in the Twilight mission, which is basically just a harder version of an existing level. Got some better gear, went back and totally kicked his ass. Okay, so I didn't kick his ass. I still died a lot, but you know what? It was a little less, and eventually I beat him, so ha. And speaking of bosses, satisfying and difficult are the words of the day to describe them. The Ogress is this beast of a boss, massive and easy enough to read, but she's got some tricks up her sleeve that keep you on your toes. She has a few attacks that start off seeming kind of cheap, but keep at it and eventually it's not so bad. That said, I did end up summoning some help so that I could get through to the next area before I ran out of time over the weekend because this was a limited time demo. The second boss in the demo was a duel with another samurai, and holy mother of God, he's a tough cookie. He's difficult, he's hard. My biggest complaint here is that it's hard to get a read on him and learn his mechanics. That and he can use his spirit guardian willy-nilly while mine is disabled the whole fight. Things are already stacked against me that he's, a friggin' boss. Why make it even more unfair? I feel like some balancing needs to be done here because for the most of the fight, it felt kind of like bullshit. And when I finally beat him, I was filled less with woo yeah than I was with let me stab this bastard in his face. So, kind of work on that balancing a little bit. Yeah. The level design is A+ from what I've seen. There are secrets, shortcuts, shrines scattered around, dead ends with fat stacks of loot, and plenty of baddies to kick the asses of. The full-length level that was available was very dark and grim, set at night, and it was almost claustrophobic at times given how little you could really see into the distance in some spots. Then the wheat field where you duel the second boss is huge, open, and bright. I love the contrast that was shown, and I hope that the levels in the final version of the game are as visually varied as the two we've seen so far. Multiplayer is a bit of a weak point in the demo. You can summon someone to your world from a shrine, which is great, but in order to be available for summon, you have to choose an option from the menu in the map, which is not great. It pulls you out of the action and makes you stare at a screen while you wait to hopefully find somebody to match up with. I like the option of being able to choose a specific level to attempt with somebody, and I'm glad that there's a password system so you can match up with just your friends, but I should be able to make myself available for summoning within the area I'm currently playing through and not have to wait on a menu. It's boring. I can't make any progress here. I can't do anything. I digress. There are a lot of things about Nioh that interest me. Its mechanics, its lore, and whatever the real story is going to be. If they can keep the levels varied visually and tonally and maybe add a couple more weapon types, I think that we'll be in for something really fucking awesome. I'm honestly kind of hype about this. Now, I gotta go rest my thumbs because I played way too much of this damn game today. That's it for my impressions of Nioh. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please, remember to leave a like, subscribe for more, do all the YouTube stuff. Come on. If you got to play the Nioh demo over the weekend, then leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let's get a discussion going here because that's what this is about. Follow me on Twitter stuff if you're into that. All the info's down in the doodly boodle description area. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.